what is up you guys? My name is Jess and welcome back to Planted Hippie. Welcome back to another video. Today we will be doing another top 5 monthly houseplant favorites for the month of September. So if that does interest you, I please ask that you stick around, leave a like, maybe even a comment down below, or even hitting that notification bell down below so that you are notified every time I upload a new video and to help me keep on planting. Please also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at planted.hippie where I post new planty photos daily. So with that, let's go ahead and get into today's video. If you did watch last week's video, you will know that it was indeed my 24th birthday. I'm now 24 years old officially, and Austin of course made it a very special day, took me out to dinner, we walked around the city. The next day we had a NFL game to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and that was really fun. And the party continues to this weekend where I will be attending the International Aroid Show down in Miami, where a lot of plant collectors and vendors go to buy and sell their beautiful stock of plants. I will also be visiting my favorite nursery in Florida, which is the Perfect Choice Nursery down near Fort Lauderdale, and I am super excited to lose all my money this weekend, but I am just super excited to continue the birthday festivities. And speaking of that, we will be starting my very first plant off with a plant Austin bought me for my birthday. He left it for me to wake up to, and it's one of my favorite things that he actually does on my birthday. He goes to work pretty early on weekdays and he does work on Saturdays, so we both ended up working on my birthday this year, so he left me a very sweet gift to wake up to, which was a giant Raven ZZ plant. And I am already so in love with this beautiful plant. It's already such a little show statement piece, and I cannot wait for it to continue to grow for me. I'm going to be learning much more about this plant, and I will keep you guys updated obviously on how I continue to learn about it and from it and the care that it needs. I'm really happy Austin ended up choosing this plant in particular because, as you can see, it has a really cool new growth point, or I guess you can say just new growth coming in. What I love about Raven ZZs is that they come in really bright green and they darken up to that really dark raven color that we all know and love. So I'm just really excited to have this plant in my collection. I am already so in love with it. It's a really low light plant, so I can kind of basically put it anywhere and experiment with it this winter and see where it can kind of live inside. I was really excited to have this as an indoor plant because, again, it is low light, or I guess low light tolerant, and I'm just really excited to have a plant inside rather than always having my plants in my plant room where I don't really always see them every day or pass by them every day if I don't go in and check on them deliberately. So that was our very first plant on our list today, the Raven ZZ, and I am so excited to have it in my collection. Alrighty, so the next plant on our list, it was actually mentioned back in my July favorites, so please go check that out if you haven't seen that video. And I mentioned in that video that I did end up purchasing one of my very top wish list plants, my Hoya Polynera variegata. And if you guys remember what that plant looked like back in that video, I will pop up a little picture. But as you can see here, this plant has just absolutely doubled in size. As you can see, it just split off into 2 little growth points and has just given me so much new growth. Can you guys believe how big and beautiful this plant has become from just this one little fishtail that I had not even 2 full months ago? It is just so amazing. I will try and hide behind the leaves so that you can just see how truly beautiful the foliage on these little mermaid tails basically. I love this plant. I'm so thankful to Danny at Hell Yeah Hoyas on Instagram for blessing me with a cutting from her beautiful mother plant. I'm just so lucky to have been able to participate in the Instagram auction that she had back in July, and I am just so happy that I was able to get my hands on one of these beautiful Hoya, because look how fast she has grown. It has only been about 2 months since I brought her home or got her in the mail. She has just not skipped a freaking beat with growth, as you can see. And I don't want to tilt it. She did send it in pond, which I later sort of just mixed in with my normal soil mixture, and to make it like just more chunky and transition it to being in soil, since I'm not really great or knowledgeable with using a pond just yet. I would love to try it one day, but nevertheless, I still am really happy with how this plant is growing for me. I am just so excited to continue to see it grow more. I'm excited to hopefully take cuttings in the spring once it is out of dormancy. If it does even go into dormancy this winter, I will be keeping it in my beautiful Millsbow tall cabinet over here that I constructed a few weeks ago and put a few Hoya up at the top of the shelf. I am still working on my little reel for that cabinet video, so I do apologize. It will be on my Instagram at planted.hippie soon. I hope I can get that done for you guys. I will be at the, again, International Aroid Show this weekend, so I will definitely be filming my experience there for a video next week, so definitely keep an eye out for that. But again, I just had to mention this beautiful Hoya because just look at it. I'm so obsessed with it. It again has just been super easy for me, very rewarding to watch grow, and just how beautiful the foliage is and just so different from any other Hoya that I have. I definitely had to give it a mention today, and that is why it is our number 2 plant today, the Hoya Polynera variegata. Alrighty, so for our last 2 plants today, and our 5th favorite is going to be, again, not a plant this time. So the next 2 plants on our list, number 3 and 4, are going to be outside actually. So I will be showing you guys some footage of my beautiful new little cactus shelf station that Austin built for me outside to hold some of my cactus for the next couple of weeks so that they can soak up the last little bit of summer sun, and I think they are really enjoying it. I have my string of turtles out here, my monkey tail cactus, my beautiful booby cactus, my aloe vera plant, and I also have my lifesaver cactus down at the bottom, and I think they're all just really loving life. I am super happy with how much they are growing, especially if you can see here my white ghost euphorbia or white ghost cactus, whatever you'd like to call it. I have had this plant for nearly over a year for sure, and it has just done nothing in the entire year that I've had it. I never repotted it because it was in a really great soil when I purchased it, and I actually got it from Perfect Choice Nursery last year when I visited, and I really was just super confused on why it was not growing at all for me. I had it in my western facing window and under a grow light, so I was just super confused on why it was not doing anything for me up until literally 2 or 3 weeks ago when Austin came running into our room and was like, "Babe, your white ghost cactus is changing. It's forming like little nubs at the top." And he was completely right, because now, as you can see, it is just such a beautiful little like ghost at the top, for real. It's like little arms are forming, and it has so much personality now, and I just cannot wait for this outdoor sun, and a little bit more of a kick in humidity may help this euphorbia just take off before winter hits. And I definitely wanted to include this station as a whole because I am just loving it already because of the amount of growth it has kind of kicked up a notch in my cactus and succulents that I've chosen to place out here, as well as I am just so in love with particularly my white ghost euphorbia / white ghost cactus, because I am just so happy it's actually doing something. I am happy that it is not dying. Whenever I repotted it into this terracotta pot that it is in now, it actually even gave me more of a change at the tip of where the arms are kind of coming out. So I think it was really happy to get a refresh of soil and a little bit of Osmocote fertilizer. I should probably look into maybe getting like a cactus succulent fertilizer, but I think the Osmocote is working just fine for now. I am just super excited that this plant has decided to finally do something for me. So I definitely had to include this plant and this whole little new station outside as a whole, because I will definitely be enjoying it until the end of October, maybe even early November, depending on how cold Florida decides to get in the near coming months. But usually it doesn't get too cold until November, so I hope my cactus enjoy the time outside, and we will just be kind of moving over a bit to where I keep my ficus outside. If you guys remember, I don't even remember what video it was really mentioned in. I think perhaps maybe my plant chores video that I had moved all of my ficus outside. So particularly I am just so in awe with my ficus umbellata. I will be trying to stand next to it so that you guys can just see how massive this, it's like a tree now, has just taken off outside compared to my other varieties of ficus that you can see here in my little ficus corner. Austin has also moved his Philodendron biliaceae and his Philodendron squamiferum outside, and they have taken off in growth as well, being outside and getting some really nice eastern dappled shaded morning light. I think these plants are just loving it, and particularly my, again, ficus umbellata is just so impressive. I absolutely love this plant. I'm honestly a little scared of where I'm going to put it when it's winter time and it needs to come inside, since it is just so massive. I am going to have to find a nice little perfect spot for it. So I'm just super excited to have just so much growth. I'm really hoping I have a before photo to show you guys, because it is just astonishing how fast this plant has grown for me, and I am just so in love with ficus as a genus in general. I had to mention my ficus umbellata today because just of how beautiful it is. These plate-like sized dinner plate leaves are just so huge and pillowy and beautiful, and again, it's like as tall as me, so I am just so happy. I recently repotted it into an even bigger pot, and I think she is loving it, and I think maybe I should even consider cutting it. It did kind of notch off and fork off into two pieces naturally without even me having to cut it, but it is getting just a little bit too tall, I guess, to bring inside, so I will have to maybe cut it before the season is over. It just depends on how many more leaves it decides to put out before like October, November, when it needs to come inside. So I'm super happy with that beautiful plant, and I did have to mention it. So those were our last two plants for our list, and we will be moving on to our last favorite for the day, and it is actually another animal, a new pet to join our family here. And I actually got it, or I guess him, around the same time as we got the frogs. And if you haven't seen or heard about my frogs, my dumpy white tree frogs, I did mention them in my favorites video last month, so please go check that out and just go see them. And I have definitely been introducing them a lot and posting them on my stories on Instagram. And if you do follow me on Instagram, you will have already probably seen on my stories and highlights that I have been posting, and I've already introduced my beautiful leopard gecko Butters. So he is a beautiful albino tremper leopard gecko. If you know anything about leopard geckos, they aren't very active during the day, so I didn't really want to bother him too much, but I will go grab him just to handle him in front of the camera just for a few minutes so you guys can see him and meet him. And I do again have tons of videos and photos of him already on my Instagram, highlight of his little highlight on my Instagram. So yeah, I will just go get him so you guys can meet him. Alrighty, you guys, so here is Butters. Try and hide behind him. Oh, he's so beautiful. So yeah, this is Butters, the Tremper albino leopard gecko. He is my very, oh, he's making a little sound. He's not very happy to be out in the daylight right now, but I just wanted to show you guys what he looks like. He's super beautiful. I absolutely love his patterning and coloration on him. I was really drawn to him. I got him at a breeder expo convention in Daytona, Florida, and he has just been super therapeutic, I think, to take care of and be around and socialize with. And as you can see, this is why they are such a popular reptile. They're just such easily handleable lizards, and I absolutely am just so in love with him. He has been such an amazing new pet, so docile and calm and sweet. The cats even sort of have like a knowledge of him, and they leave him alone, and it's just like a really nice, it's just been a really nice time getting to learn from and about this beautiful creature. He is just so amazing, and yeah, I have just again been really loving him. He should grow a little bit bigger than he is now, but I think he was basically categorized as an adult when I purchased him, so I didn't really want to fuss around with a baby. I wanted to be able to handle them right off the bat, and sometimes babies can be a little bit more finicky depending on obviously the breeder that you get it from. And yeah, I have just been really happy with my time with Butters here, and I love him. I did have a bearded dragon in high school, so I am aware and very knowledgeable on reptiles. I've always been super interested in them in general, even without keeping them, and I just really, again, been really enjoying my time with my little guy Butters here. I will obviously keep you guys updated on my little guy here, and if you guys have any questions about him, please leave them in the comment section down below. I love talking about him, I love taking pictures of him, and now he can be like our little mascot for the channel, because as you know, with frogs you can't really handle them as much, and that is why I did want to get a more handleable reptile or pet, because they are just so amazing and beautiful. And I will take you over to his little house so you can see where he lives. So yeah, here is his little enclosure here. As you can see, he does live in a little 20-gallon, and it is it is just an old fish tank. And this is actually the same tank I raised my bearded dragon in high school when he was transitioning from being a baby to whenever I upgraded him to like a 90-gallon tank before I had to rehome him because he was just getting too big. But this was the tank that I had in high school, and as you can see, he has his little warm hide here. He's actually in his humid hide right now, and I have some sphagnum moss in there, and I keep that nice and damp for him. He has his dirty water bowl, and then he has his cool dry hide. That is a really nice little, I guess, look at where he likes to be. And he's actually in his moist hide right now. I put him right back in and he went right back to sleep. That is where he likes to spend the majority of his time. He has some feeding bowls here. I keep his calcium out for him in case he wants to go and lick the calcium out. I like to do that sometimes. And then I'll put his super worms in here so that they can't escape, and he can just go and eat from them like a little cereal bowl. And he does have a basking light. I tried out the heating pad and I just didn't really like it, and I didn't like how it had to have like a thermostat and all that. I've always just been really familiar with basking lights, and it gives him a nice range of cool to hot, and I think it does the job. So I am just super excited to show you guys little Butters. And again, I will keep you guys updated on how he continues to thrive here at our house. But yeah, that was basically Butters, and there he is. But yeah, that was Butters. I am absolutely so in love with him. He is already so special to me, and I did have to give him a mention today. And with that, let's go ahead and roll the outro. Alrighty, so that does bring us to the end of today's video. I so do hope you enjoyed getting to see my top 5 monthly houseplant favorites for the month of September, as well as getting to meet cute Mr. Butters. If you did stick all the way to the end, I do appreciate you, and please ask that you leave a like, a comment down below, or even hitting that notification bell so that you are notified every time I upload a new video, and to help me keep on planting. Please also don't forget to follow me on Instagram at planted.hippie, where I post new planty photos daily. So with that, I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys!